All Spurs had to do was get a point against Chelsea, but they couldn't get it done. So we're going down to the final day. Let's predict the results of these two fixtures on Sunday. Okay, we're only going to look at Spurs and West Ham, of course, but I've left the Leeds and the Forest ones on there anyway. Now, the first game we're looking at here, Spurs versus Everton. Now, Everton have been in some actually pretty terrible form more recently. Since David Moyes came in, they have actually been very, very good generally. But recently, they have tailed off so much. I mean, they got battered by Sunderland at the weekend. And this is a Sunderland team that have taken their foot completely off the gas. They did not look good prior to this game whatsoever. They have looked bad, genuinely bad. But they got battered. And the results in general, these Everton results, let's go over the last few games because it's been a mess. Since that Chelsea win, that 3-0 Chelsea win, they've drawn to Brentford, they've lost to Liverpool, they lost to West Ham, they've drawn against City, they drew against a Crystal Palace side that weren't even focused on that game, and then they've lost 3-1 at home against Sunderland. That's a bad result, a really bad result. And they do still technically have a little bit to play for. They can mathematically still qualify for Europe. However, it's just looking unlikely now. So I'm not quite sure what's going on at Everton. It's not like they've got bulk injuries or anything like that. Obviously, Grealish is out injured. Branthwaite is out injured. But those two players alone shouldn't be enough for them to be struggling this much. However, they are playing a Tottenham team that are, one, terrible at home. Really bad. 2 home wins all season in their new sparkly stadium that they cannot seem to get results in. Away from home, they've got an unbelievable record. I think they're 3rd behind Man City and Arsenal in the league for away record this season, which is crazy. If they just had a touch of form at home, they would be sat mid-table or even higher up the table. But their home form has been horrible. Horrible. The worst team in the whole league, 20th in the whole of the Premier League for home form. Now, what we've seen in the last couple of weeks from Spurs hasn't been great. I mean, the one game where they did look quite good was against Brighton, and they couldn't even get the result there, but they did look pretty good against Brighton. Since then, they haven't looked great. Didn't look great against Wolves, and then against Chelsea more recently the other day, I thought they looked okay in that game. Just before Chelsea's first goal, they actually looked like they were on the front foot. There were times in this game where they were on the front foot. They just don't look like they've got the last ball or the killer instinct as such. You've got someone like Tell on the left who looks really exciting. He can get on the ball, he can get past players. His end product is lacking big time. You've got Kolo Muani on the right who, I mean, what sort of footballer is he? How on earth did PSG see a £90 million or €90 million footballer in Kolo Muani? He's a mess, a serious mess. He has been probably the flop of the season for me, and I know that they didn't spend money on him really, but he has been a huge flop. Richarlison is kind of carrying the attack. I mean, he is getting chances. He's not scoring them all, of course, but he is scoring some of his chances. Without his goals, they wouldn't really be anywhere. Now, Maddison, every time he comes on the pitch, he looks like he's so positive. He gets the ball and wants to really make things happen. If they had Maddison fit for even the last 6 months, even the last 5 months, really, they wouldn't be where they are right now. And you could say that about a few players. You could probably say that about Kudus. Kudus on the right over Kolo Muani is an outrageous upgrade. Kulusevski, if they had him fit, they wouldn't be where they are. There's quite a lot of players where you'd think if they didn't have all these injuries, they would not be where they are. But Maddison is a huge one because you can see it now. Every time he comes on, the Leeds game and the Chelsea game, he is so good. He is so much better than all of the other attackers that Spurs currently have. Now, in terms of a prediction for this game, as you can see, I've had it as a draw. Now, I think this game will be so cagey. We know that Spurs only need 1 point. Goal difference, I mean, obviously you can see the points. West Ham are 2 points behind, but Spurs have way better goal difference. There's a difference of about 11 in it, I think. So West Ham just aren't going to make that up, meaning that Spurs literally need 1 point. I think this game will be so cagey, so tight. I think Spurs will want to keep it really, really tight defensively, and Everton aren't exactly unbelievable going forward. You've got someone like Beto, for example, who in front of goal recently has been better. At the start of the season, he was horrific. You've got someone like Njai, who sometimes lacks in terms of finishing end product. So this Everton side isn't kind of an all singing, all dancing goal scoring machine. I do think this game will be really tight. I think it could be won or lost in one goal. I could see a really low scoring game. I am going to leave it as a draw though, because I do think that Spurs probably just have enough to get a point out of it. And that actually means that the West Ham result doesn't really matter at this point. However, we will discuss it because there is a chance that Spurs lose this game. I would much rather have the fixture of Leeds at home than Everton at home, especially if you're Spurs, who have got just a terrible home form. Now, West Ham versus Leeds is a really interesting one. Leeds are just a really good football team, aren't they? They are just really good. Their results recently have been brilliant. They beat Man United away from home. Then they were always going to win these home games. Wolves at home, Burnley at home. Brighton at home was the most difficult one, and they won that. They drew against Spurs. They drew against this Bournemouth side, which are really good. They're now on 47 points, Leeds. Just a fantastic team. And they have done really well in this run-in. Now, in terms of what I think for this game, I can see this game almost being the opposite of Everton Spurs. I think that this game will be open. I think that West Ham have to go for it. It's not typically a Nuno thing to do, where he is usually more pragmatic about things. He will usually be more defensive. I just can't see that being the case. It's kind of a all or nothing situation. West Ham have to go for this game. So I think it will be a very attacking setup from West Ham. I would be very surprised to see a 5 at the back again. That clearly didn't work against Newcastle. It worked against someone like Arsenal, someone like Man City. Of course it's going to. But against basically any other team apart from them two, you cannot set up like that. You have to be more on the front foot. And I think that Nuno will have realised that now, and he'll go with a back four. And that back four will be quite attacking. You've got Mavropanos, who in the air from set pieces is just an absolute beast. You've got Juve, who will bomb down the left, and his deliveries are just on point all the time. You've got Wan-Bissaka, who we may actually see Cole Walker-Peters, to be honest, because Wan-Bissaka has just not been good. He has not been good recently whatsoever. So we may see Walker-Peters. Regardless, you'll have the likes of Somerville, Fernandez, Bowen. I do believe Tati will start up top. I would be surprised if Tati didn't start up top. But West Ham will be so attacking in this game, I think, anyway. And I think that the game will have goals. I do think West Ham win this game because Leeds can essentially now take their foot off the gas. I'm not sure that they will. They don't really seem like the type of team that will take their foot off the gas, but they can. And I don't think they need to necessarily go all out for this game. So I do think West Ham win this game. I think that there could be a few goals in it, like I say, but I also don't think it matters because I do think Spurs will pick up a draw in that game. I do think this will be tight. The last day is going to be so exciting. Let me know what you think in the comments in terms of these two games because they are difficult to call. Everton in general are a pretty difficult team to call at the moment. Spurs at home are a difficult team to predict. This West Ham Leeds game could go any which way. I think that West Ham get the win. I think that Spurs get the draw. Obviously, as a West Ham fan, I would love to see Spurs lose this game and West Ham win. That would be hilarious. Not only that, it will be brilliant because West Ham stay up. But let me know what you think. That is all for this one. I've got lots of other content planned. Obviously, no more relegation stuff. I'll do a review after Sunday's games. But then we're into World Cup stuff. So stay tuned for some World Cup content. Make sure you hit subscribe. Make sure you like. And I'll see you in the next one.